Everybody wants to talk to this guy, Bill Shapard, Sooner Poll. Good to know. Hey, there's something going on. You know, we used to have primaries in August, but now we're in the runoff. Real quick, let's go to what everybody's talking about, the GOP race for governor, the runoff between Mr. Stitt and Mayor Cornett. Who's going to win that?
Well, I think right now, you know, according to our last poll, it was a dead heat, but there's a little bit of advantage Stitt right now. That's a lot of the reasons because we have an Oklahoma City and running against a Tulsa, and the Republicans in the rural areas are going to decide this race. Will they vote for an Oklahoma City mayor? Will they vote for a guy that they only have known for the last year? And that's the real decision, because that's where the Republican growth of their party has been.
Let's talk about ads, okay? Because legacy media is less involved. So much more about digital, so much about the TV commercials. The ad is bull Stitt. Some people think that's clever. Some people think it's a Hail Mary. How's it going to impact this race?
Well, I certainly hope that Mick Cornett tried to test that with someone like me, a pollstar market researcher, before going with it, because I think it's a very risky strategy. I think that we have to stay focused on what the electorate is on Election Day, which is much more conservative, much more older in the Republican runoff as far as voters are concerned, which means then is that that might be very problematic. I think a lot of those people may look at it and say, I don't want my grandchildren talking like that, so why would I want my next mayor? And so it might be very problematic.
All right. Can I just take you out into the weeds a little bit? Does it run out ahead? I know we've got a lot happening in the fall, but Cornett versus Edmondson, who wins that?
Well, right now, we have Cornett with a little bit of a lead. He's more moderate in his views. He's got more of a prior public service, and so I think that he has the lead going into that.
And Stitt versus Edmondson?
Right now, we show it as a coin toss. It's a flip up, and that's a lot of that is due to the fact that nobody really knew who Kevin Stitt was in the political world more than a year ago.
Guess we'll have a campaign in the fall for whoever wins.
Either way, we're going to have a very close race.
Attorney General, other hot race, Mr. Drummond. Attorney General Hunter, you had Mr. Drummond up early in the spring. You've had Hunter up back in June. Who wins now?
I think advantage Mike Hunter right now going into Tuesday, only because in all the polling I've seen, he seemed to have at least developed about a 10-point lead. I think it's a nice recovery for him, but still, he is the incumbent, and we know that incumbents, according to statistics, only win 56% of the time in runoff. So it's advantage Hunter, but it still may go the other direction.
Okay, about a minute left. People have to understand the governor is not the CEO in Oklahoma, okay? Founding fathers diffused lots of power down ballot races. Not hearing much about it. How are people going to make up their mind about those down ballot races that are so important?
Well, I can tell you that a lot of polling right now shows that 2-to-1 people want an outsider. They're kind of tired of politics.
Regardless of the competency?
Kind of regardless, yeah. Set that aside, because most people are looking 2-to-1, looking for some sort of outsider. Now, does that mean that we want someone to come in as a CEO and try to run the state as that? I'm not so sure it translates completely that way. But that's the mood of the electorate. The electorate is kind of tired of these career politicians.
Got about 30 seconds left. Has the media done a good job of covering the down ballot races?
Not really. And the reason why is one, and I think it's been a little bit of disadvantage because we've had a lot of discussion about teacher strikes, and we went right into the discussion of medical marijuana.
Teacher marijuana and no coverage of the down ballot races.
Right. Where was there time to do that? And so that's where we've seen a lot of the alternative media beginning to pick up and fill that void and talk about some of those down ticket races.
Tuesday night, Bill Shapard right here. We're talking coverage
we'll
on News 9. See this again at news9.com/yourvotecounts. Follow me, Scott Mitchell, on Twitter @MitchellTalks.